and welcome to the I Ching Cafe and our monthly overview for July 2021. Here we are now over the hump, the middle section of 2021 already, and it's always worthwhile as we get to midpoint through the year to reflect back on what your year has brought you. Despite all the difficulties we're facing in the world right now, what are the difficulties that you have overcome? How have you applied yourself? How have you worked hard and committed to your growth for this first part of this year? So before we get stuck into July, let's have a quick recap of what June was all about, what the I Ching asked us to pay attention to. And we had this hexagram 26, Taming Power of the Great, asking us to focus all our power, focus, to focus on focus, as it were, and to really narrow down what is important and really rally all our energy into the thing that is most important right now, as well as recognizing that a new cycle began, that creative energy flew in, that creative beginnings emerged, and that we were called to tap into hexagram 1, the creative spark and flow coming in, a new cycle beginning, something new arriving, reconnecting with new energy. So think back, June 2021, how are you working with focus, new beginnings, new energy, creative upsurges, new cycles for you, big new cycles for you, starting in June 2021. Right, let's have a look at July. So our first hexagram for this month is hexagram 48, the well. The well is a beautiful hexagram referencing the structure that we use to tap into the inexhaustible supply. We have an underground stream, we have an infinite supply of fresh water, and our task is to build the well, dig really deep, and plug into that very, very high quality spring water. We don't want to make do with surface water. We don't want water table water. We don't want to do a borehole. We want to go right to the deepest possible, freshest water possible. This hexagram relates to our capacity to tap into the resources and supplies we need, which might be your network, accessing different parts of your talent, your ability, but the structure that allows us to do that. In a business, this is very tangible. The business is often can be seen as a structure that we build to tap into supply, to nourish the tribes, to nourish the village that has grown around the well, that has sprung up where the fields need the water and we need to take care of our tribe or our family. So this month, a key part of our focus is going to be zoomed in on the well, the structure we are using, we are building, we are working with to help us tap into the resources we need. For you, that might mean support, that might mean financial resources or cash flow, connections, your network, whatever that applies for you. But we are building and looking after and focusing on this well that is the access point, the well point, as it were, to the things that we need. So this month we have 2 changing lines. And I must just preface that by saying that they are quite tricky. There is some challenge for us this month as we work through these changing lines. Because we ask a time-based question for our monthlies and our weeklies, we can slot the changing lines into estimated guidelines of timing. So our first changing line starts building up from the beginning of July and matures around about the 10th. Then the second line starts kicking in, starts building up and matures around about the 20th. And then we start moving fully into the outcome hexagram. Now, that is a guideline. I have experienced cases where I've had both changing lines go woof, woof, one after the other. So use your own life, use your own process to guide you, but it's a way of thinking about how the change cycle evolves throughout the month. So let's have a look at our first changing line. This changing line in the second position says, we have a well, it's good to drink, but only fish want to hang out there. And only people who want to catch fish hang out there. And so our well becomes a point of usage for other people to do what they want to do. We get used but the water itself, the thing that we are actually there to do, to serve and to nourish with, is not of interest. Okay. So this month, when we think about going in with a fishing rod, often has a symbol of positivity, going to catch the fish and all the symbols that go with that. But this month, fishing and fish and the fishing rod represents negativity or inferior elements that we tolerate because nobody else wants the water. So despite the fact that we have this well, we have wonderful water that's there, it's being used for people's personal gains or other people's personal endeavors that they're wanting to use it for, in this case, catching the fish. And even then it's difficult. Okay, so what this changing line is asking us to pay attention to, focus on, not get paranoid over, focus on the first 10 days of the month is this theme of be aware of where your well is being used by others for their own gain and where you are tolerating inferior elements. Remember, always our starting point is to assume that we have internal negativity, internal fish that we're needing to deal with. Okay, it's not always about the outside of the other person who's at fault, that we are tolerating the negativity. We are tolerating the fish in the well and not taking them out and throwing them out and saying we'd rather not have anything using this well if it's going to be the fish, okay? Because that's not what it's there for. Just have your eyes and ears open for something that you're using or creating being used for others in a way that it wasn't intended or wasn't for the highest and the best, and you've got to put in place the boundary, okay? And it's almost like we just have to deal with it. We have to just work through this process. So interesting changing line. Watch out for the fish. Then the next changing line in the third position says a similar theme but different. Here, the well doesn't have the fish in it. Okay, that's great. But it's crystal clear and beautiful clear water, but nobody comes to drink, to use the well. And there's a sorrow and a sadness as the I Ching kind of depicts us sitting on the side of the well in a state of sorrow that nobody wants what we have. Okay, so personally, if there's something that you're going through where you're hoping for support, there's a process here this week of recognizing that we just have to bide our time. We have to just accept this is the way it is. There are no visitors at the well, and it's not personal, it's just the way it is. Things will come right. You will be recognized. You will get your moment to shine. People will come to the well and comment on how beautiful and crystal clear and how nourishing this water is. But really, for in the second third of the month, just be okay that what you want and what you want to achieve is not recognized, okay? The visibility isn't there. And I'm just conscious of these two lines in my own country having gone into a much harder lockdown of what businesses might be facing, where you're now ready to go and you've got all this preparation work you've done over the last 2 years and you want to get it going, but somehow the economy and the people just aren't coming. The support isn't there. People aren't coming to the well to drink. And so that for me is a symbol in my mind around what this hexagram might mean for my own country, my own economy. But that's the idea, is making peace that it's okay. People aren't coming to the well. If you've got a business, maybe the customers are not saying yes. Maybe you've had a bit of a drop in turnover. Maybe you aren't getting the success in this month that you would like, or particularly in the second block of the month. Just take heart. Be okay. You will get recognized. You will get what you need. Okay. Keep focusing on maintaining this beautiful well that you've created, on making sure the water stays clean, and be ready, because when the time comes, people will come to the well. Okay. There's a lot of patience related to accepting things as they are. Right. The well is beautiful. You have created something that other people need, that nourishes them, that supports them. It's just not being used by the right people in the right way and by people at all for the first 20 days. And then as we round out to our outcome hexagram, that is hexagram 8, holding together or grouping. And this is a very interesting hexagram. You'll see from the structure of the hexagrams a whole lot of passive lines, our dashed or broken lines, with one male strong active line sitting in the 5th position. Okay, that's a leadership position that's holding all the passive lines together. And you can imagine this is like a rope, okay? And we're all connected to this chain or this rope. And this hexagram calls us to pay attention to who or what we are associated with, our groupings, our position in that group, our position of leadership, what we are willing to bring to the party, and whether we have what it takes to lead in this moment. Grouping is quite an interesting hexagram in that it's not a peaceful, easy time. There's a lot of things coming at us. It's going to be a busy month. And what this hexagram brings to us, it brings to us a focus on where and what do we really belong with. What are the groups and networks and associations that are core to who we are, that resonate deeply with us, and which ones have completed their time? Which ones are done, which networks or people or groupings or companies or associations or whatever it might be are no longer for us. Where is the connection point, the thing that really binds us tightly? What groups are meaningful? And then how do we recommit to those and bring our leadership to bear? For me, this is a leadership hexagram. It's asking us to ask a very important question, and the I Ching asks us with this particular hexagram to rethink about, are you the right person to lead this group? Are you the right one to lead the call or to be in a position of authority in this group, to step into those shoes, to do something important? Make sure you have what it takes, because the leadership position is fraught with challenge, but we grow through challenge, which is great. This month, very interesting, there is the well. We are focused on the well that taps us into the things that we need to do, the things that we are supporting our tribe with, the things that tap us into our supply of nourishment. You've got to work out for you this month, what well is the well that is being focused on for you? Is that your spiritual structure that's in your life? Is that your work structure? Is that your network? Is that your community? What is this man-made object, this built structure that taps into the deep, inexhaustible supply? And if you are not getting what you need through this, perhaps you need to go deeper. And perhaps we need to think about hexagram 8 in what are the groups that we are connected to, that we give energy to, and where might there be groupings that are no longer for us, that are no longer part of this current story and part of our journey as we need to go forward. Really, as a business, this is a hexagram where we really have to think about our network, our structure, our relationships in the marketplace, our business and how it is structured to allow us to tap into that supply and nourish the tribe, as well as the associations, the groupings, the alliances, the relationships, business to business or business to consumer within the business context that are critical, and which ones are now not serving their purpose or no longer delivering the results that they should. Are we a leader? Do we have what it takes? And if yes, let's step up and lead. Let's use the energy of hexagram 8, grouping, to bind people together, to draw people together, to unite people behind a common goal. If we are all tied together and grouped together on that rope, we can be stronger, we can do more together, we can be more powerful and meaningful. So find that right group and commit and give everything to it. That's how we grow. That's how we actually tap into the well and deliver the results. Wishing you a wonderful July. It's going to fly past, so take every day as it comes. Be in the moment and realize that you are building the well. You are deepening the well. You are building something enduring. If you are starting the journey, keep building, keep working on the well, keep tapping into the thing that's meaningful for you. And I look forward to hearing how your month unfolds as we go through our week-to-week weekly overview sessions. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you at our next weekly overview. Cheers.